Hello friends, welcome to Gentleman Cadet Academy. So today the video is regarding all about Territorial Army and this is the most awaited video. So in this video, firstly I will cover the basics of TA, that is the background, the structure of TA, why it was formed, then how to join TA and how the training of TA is conducted, and finally at the end of the video, the most common doubts about Territorial Army. So like always, this video will again be in crisp form. So again, without wasting any time, let us start. So let us first talk about the basic information of the Territorial Army. So TA is called as the part-time commitment and full-time honor. And this is the best opportunity for those who were not able to join the regular army because of some reasons. And TA is called as the second line of defense after the regular army. And it is not a profession, occupation or any source of employment. That is, you cannot take Territorial Army as a full-time career because it is only for those people who are employed in civil profession or are self-employed. And after getting selected in TA, one has to serve minimum of 2 to 3 months. Yes, you can serve more than this if you have time and if there is a requirement in the TA. Let us discuss the role of the Territorial Army. So the primary role of the TA is to relieve the regular army from static duties and to assist civil administration in dealing with natural calamities and the maintenance of essential services, and finally to provide units for the regular army whenever the need arises. So let us now discuss the basic information of the Territorial Army. So it is active since 1949 as Indian Territorial Army, and the soldiers of the Territorial Army are called as Terriers, and its motto is Savdhani va Shurta, which means vigilance and valor. So let us now talk about the background of TA in short. So the origin of TA in India can be traced back to the first war of independence in 1857 when a volunteer force was raised. Then the Britishers raised the TA in 1920 through the Indian Territorial Act of 1920, which consisted of two wings. The first was the auxiliary force for Europeans and the second was the Indian Territorial Force for the Indian volunteers. Then after the independence, the Territorial Army was formed on 9th of October in 1949, and because of which TA Day is celebrated every year on October 9. And initially TA had various types of units such as Armored Regiment, Infantry Units, Air Defense, Artillery Regiment, Engineers Regiment and EME workshops. Leaving infantry, most of these regiments were disbanded in 1972 and some of these were converted into regular army units. And presently the strength of TA is around 50,000 personnel, which consist of departmental TA, for example Railway, ONGC, and non-departmental TA units which consist of infantry battalions. And there are a total of 17 units of departmental TA, which consist of units from Railway Engineers Regiment, then Engineers Regiment Refineries and Pipeline, then General Hospital TA, and some of these are, for example, 1032 Railway Engineers Regiment, then General Hospital TA 300 beds, which is at Jaipur. Then in non-departmental TA units, we have total of 43 infantry units, for example 101 Infantry Battalion Maratha Light Infantry, then 125 Infantry Battalion Guards, then 116 Infantry Battalion TA Parachute Regiment and 102 Infantry Battalion TA Punjab Regiment. Then talking about the group headquarters of TA, so there are total of 5 group headquarters of Territorial Army, and these are TA group headquarter at Southern Command, which is in Pune, then TA headquarter in Eastern Command, which is at Kolkata, then TA headquarter in Western Command, which is in Chandigarh, and Central Command Lucknow, and finally TA headquarter in Northern Command, that is in Udhampur. And most of the TA units, they were actively involved in 3 wars, first with China in 1962, then 2 wars with Pakistan in 65 and 71. And they have also taken part in Operation Pavan in Sri Lanka, Operation Rakshak in Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir, and Operation Rhino, as well as in Operation Bajrang in Northeast. And on the other side, the departmental units have assisted civil authorities during industrial unrest and natural calamities, and the ecological units, they have prevented the environmental degradation. And the men of TA, they have also taken part in various adventure activities. For example, the famous one was the scaling of mountain Tenzing Khang, which is in West Sikkim. And the officers and the men of the Territorial Army, they have decorated for their gallantry and distinguished services. For example, they have earned 1 Kirti Chakra, 5 Ati Vasishtha Seva Medal, 5 Veer Chakra, 5 Shaurya Chakra, 1 Yuddha Seva Medal and 74 Sena Medal. Then many industrialists, politicians and eminent personalities, they have been the members of TA, and some of the famous personalities in TA are Brigadier KP Singh Dio, then Brigadier SS Sawant, then Kapil Dev, MS Dhoni, Avinav Bindra, Sachin Pilot, Anurag Thakur and Mohanlal. Now let us discuss how to join the Territorial Army. So basically, there are two entries for joining the Territorial Army. First is for the retired officers, then second is for the civilian candidates. So for civilian candidates, the main requirement is they must be gainfully employed or they can be self-employed, and all the government and private organizations, they are bound to issue NOC, and self-employed candidates, they are required to issue an affidavit of their proof of income. Then the age limit for joining the TA is up to 42 years, and for joining the TA, there is a set of procedure. Firstly, there is a written exam, and after clearing the written exam, you have to appear for the preliminary interview board, which is at a group headquarter. For example, for the Punjab region, it is conducted at Chandigarh. And after clearing the PIB, which is of around 10 to 15 minutes, then you are called for SSB interview. And then after clearing the SSB, there is a medical examination. And after clearing the medical examination, within 2 months, you get your joining letter for TA. So this is the procedure of TA, and let us now discuss how the training of TA is conducted. Now talking about the training procedure of Territorial Army, firstly there is a 1 month basic training in the first year of commission. That is, after getting your joining letter for joining the particular regiment, there will be a 1 month basic training where you will be commissioned in the rank of lieutenant, and after that there is 2 month annual training camp every year including the first year. Then there is 3 months of post commission training within the first 2 years at OTA Chennai. Earlier the training was conducted at Indian Military Academy Dehradun, but now the girls are also eligible for the TA, so that is why training is shifted from IMA to OTA. Let us now talk about the basic facts of TA. So TA is basically a part-time concept and it does not provide full-time career. And serving in TA does not guarantee pension, but the pay and allowances and the privileges will be same as the regular army officers, and promotion up to lieutenant colonel will be time scale, and the officer commissioned in TA, they may be called out for military service for longer duration depending upon the requirement. Then talking about the promotion policy in TA, so in Territorial Army, there is a 2 years seniority loss as compared to regular army. For example, in regular army, one becomes captain from lieutenant within 2 years. Then in TA, it takes 4 years. Then in regular army, one becomes major from the day of commission in 6 years. But in TA, it takes 8 years. So let us now move to the last and the most important part of the video, that is the FAQs, that is the most common doubts regarding the Territorial Army. The first is, after clearing SSB and medicals, how much time it takes for TA officer to join his units and what are the further procedures. So after clearing SSB and medical, firstly there will be police verification, and on the basis of that the posting order will be issued, which will contain the unit location and the latest date by which the candidate has to report. Then within the first month of training, the candidate will be commissioned. And yes, there is one important thing, before joining the unit, there will be the validity check of your medical. That is, your medical should be within the 6 months. And if your joining is delayed by 6 months, then you are required to undergo a fresh medical examination. Then the newly commissioned candidates, they will get first posting basically in their home station. And all the officers who are commissioned in TA, they will be in probation for 3 years, and which will be later confirmed on passing the prescribed examination for their further retention. Now the next is where the officers of TA pass out. So after getting commissioned in the first month of training and completing 3 months basic training with their respective units, they are sent for 3 months post-commission training at OTA Chennai, where they join OTA GCs in their final time, and they also participate in passing out parade along with other GCs. And after passing out, they are reverted back to their respective TA units. And also the TA officers earlier in IMA and now in OTA, they are basically treated as young officers, and their training is also different as compared to other GCs. And the next is, can TA officers serve like regular army officers throughout the year after leaving their current job? The answer is yes. There are many TA officers who have left their parent job and they are now serving in TA continuously. And once you are commissioned into TA, the TA directorate, they will not check if you are still doing your parent job or not. So what they need is, they require you to undergo at least 2 months of training for the ATC. And if you are willing to serve beyond 2 months, then you should express your willingness in advance, and accordingly they will give you posting either in your parent unit or in different unit where there is a vacancy for the permanent staff. And the next is whether the TA officers or their regiments take part in any combat operations, or do they even train for combat? So the answer is no. They are not trained for frontline combat duties like counter-terrorist operations, and all the TA units that are deployed in active operational area in J&K as well as in northeastern part, they perform all the duties except the frontline combat duties, and they normally carried out tasks which involve security and protection duties like providing security and protection to the sensitive military installation. Next is, are TA officers allowed to undergo youngers officer course after commission like the regular army officers? So the answer is yes, but their YO course is not conducted along with regular army officers, because for regular army officers the YO course is conducted in infantry school MO, and for TA officer it is conducted in TA school. But yes, TA officers can be sponsored from their parent unit for undergoing YO course or at infantry school MO along with other regular army officers after the request of their individual officer. Next is, after getting selected in TA, can one postpone the joining because of work urgency on any exam? The answer is yes, but it should not be beyond 6 months, because as per the rule, when a posting order is issued, one can join the unit within 6 months time frame. But if it is more than 6 months, then one is required to undergo a fresh medical examination, because the medical examination conducted at SSB is only valid for 6 months. Next is whether the IPS, CAPF or state police personnel can join the TA. Answer is no. All the uniformed personnel are not eligible to join TA. Even if their respective department issues NOC, the TA will not accept their application. Next is, how are TA personnel allotted their regiments and whether they have any option to choose their regiment of choice. So basically, the TA officer does not have any parent unit, or they do not have any permanent affiliation with any battalion or regiment. So in case if one wants to serve permanently in TA, then he is required to serve with different TA units, and depending upon the availability of vacancies in their choice of regiments, for example in para TA, the TA directorate will carry out posting either on their part-time basis or on the permanent staff depending upon the merit or the eligibility criteria, and the serving TA officers have the option to request the TA directorate for posting to such units. Next is, can a TA officer serve in UN? The answer is no, because the TA is the second line of defense and the training and experience is not extensive, and the duty is generally to escort the vehicles or the trucks which are carrying the ammunition to the border areas. Next is whether the full-time TA officers gets pension after retirement. The answer is yes, but for that they must have minimum physical or the embodied service of 20 years, and for the late entrants it is 15 years, and for the soldiers it is also 15 years. Next is how the life of a TA officer is different as compared to the regular army officer. So first of all, there is no difference in the lifestyle of soldiers either from the regular army or the TA. And the TA officers, they are given complete facilities in terms of ration, clothing, pay and allowances and canteen facilities. In addition, the soldiers and the officers enrolled in TA, they can exercise their option of embodiment and even disembodiment from the service as per their convenience. Next is, can a TA officer leave the service before the retirement period? Answer is yes. A TA officer is permitted to resign at any time before his retirement period, because there is no liability bond being signed for the TA officer as compared to the regular army officers. Next is, do TA officers gets year-long salary? The answer is yes. The TA officers can be paid a year-long salary or even more if they are embodied on permanent staff with the TA unit, or even if they are given short attachment with the regular army for a period of 6 months or more. Next is, can a TA army officer join the parachute regiment of the regular Indian army? So answer is no, because as a territorial army officer, one can join any of the 2 infantry TA para units, but not the regular army para or para SF unit. But yes, a TA officer can be posted to para or the para SF of the regular army on short duration of 6 months. So friends, this is all about territorial army, and I hope you got something new today, and I hope this information will be beneficial for you. And still, if you have any doubt, then you can ask me in the comment section. Until then, keep learning, keep watching and keep supporting. Best of luck for your upcoming interview. Thank you and Jai Hind.